where he lived for about a month in April.
경찰의 하반기 인사를 앞둔 가운데 최근 부산 지역 경찰관들의 성비위 사건이 잇따르고 있습니다. 연제경찰서는 강제추행 및 공무집행 방해 혐의로 동래경찰서 소속 A경위를 조사 중이라고 밝혔습니다. 당시 만취 상태였던 A경위는 이달 중순 동래구 거리에서 걸어가던 여성을 추행한 혐의를 받고 있으며 현장에 출동한 경찰관들을 폭행한 것으로 알려졌습니다.
A series of sexual misconduct cases by police officers in Busan have recently been reported ahead of personnel appointments for the second half of this year. The Yeonje police station said today that it is investigating a lieutenant at the Dongnae police station on charges of sexual harassment and obstruction of justice. The lieutenant in question is accused of molesting a woman walking in the streets in Dongnae district while intoxicated earlier this month. It was also revealed that he assaulted police officers who were dispatched to the scene.
음주운전을 하다가 사람을 치고 도망간 뒤 회사 직원에게 대신 운전한 것으로 허위 진술을 하게 한 30대 남성이 구속 송치됐습니다. 남부경찰서는 특정범죄 가중처벌 등에 관한 법률 위반과 도로교통법 위반, 범인 은닉 교사 등의 혐의로 A씨를 구속 송치하고 범인 은닉 혐의로 20대 B씨를 불구속 입건했습니다.
A man in his 30s was arrested for a hit and run and having his employee make a false statement that he was the one driving. Nambu Police Station arrested the man and sent for prosecution on charges of violating the law on aggravated punishment of specific crimes, the Road Traffic Act, and aiding and abetting a suspect in hiding. Another individual in his 20s has been booked without detention on charges of aiding and abetting a suspect in hiding.
부산시장배 국제 서핑 대회가 내일부터 이틀 동안 송정해수욕장에서 열립니다. 올해로 14회째인 이번 대회는 선수와 동호인 등 150여 명이 참가해 기량을 겨룰 예정입니다.
The Busan Mayor's Cup International Surfing Competition will begin tomorrow at Songjang Beach for 2 days. About 150 people, including players and companions, will participate in the 14th edition of the competition this year.
6.25 전쟁 73주년 행사가 오는 25일 오전 10시 부산시청 대강당에서 열립니다. 안병윤 부산시 행정부시장, 참전 유공자와 유족 등 700여 명이 참석하며 올해는 정전 70주년을 맞아 참전 유공자 제복 착복식이 열릴 예정입니다.
A 73rd anniversary event for the Korean War will be held in the auditorium of Busan City Hall at 10 a.m. on the 25th. Approximately 700 attendees, including Deputy Mayor of Administration An Byung-yoon, will be joining war veterans and bereaved families. In commemoration of the 70th anniversary of the armistice, new uniforms will be presented to the Korean War veterans.
끝으로 날씨입니다. 부산 지방 내일은 대체로 맑겠고 일요일 오후부터는 비가 내리겠습니다. 내일 아침 최저 기온 20도, 낮 최고 기온 28도로 예상됩니다. 부산의 현재 기온 27도입니다.
Skies will be overall clear tomorrow and rain will begin late Sunday. Morning temperatures will average 20 degrees Celsius with afternoon highs reaching 28 degrees Celsius. Temperatures are currently averaging at 27 degrees Celsius. It's time to wrap up this hour's news. I'm Annie Munn.
홍정호였습니다.
Thank you for joining. You are listening to BEFM 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM 부산영어방송.
9년 전 한국에서의 새로운 출발을 위해 부산을 처음 찾은 프랭크. 부산의 자연과 사람, 부산에서 누리는 모든 것을 사랑하는 그는 부산의 변함없는 한대에 늘 감탄합니다.
I think that Busan people are actually very, very kind and very welcoming. If I seemed a little lost, there was always someone that was there to ask me if I needed help. They're more seriously friendly than it's very serious. I very seriously want to help you.
부산의 한결같은 모습도 늘 감동을 주지만 이제는 부산의 미래를 꿈꾸며 2030년 부산의 새로운 도약을 기대합니다.
Busan people are very proud of their city. They want to share the city with everyone. If we get the World Expo, it'll really put Busan on a global map.
세계 박람회가 어울리는 도시, 미래를 향한 힘찬 도약. 부산에서 출발한 파도는 이미 세계를 향해 뻗어 나가고 있습니다. 2030 부산 세계 박람회. 부산이 시작하고 대한민국이 함께 이뤄갑니다. 이 캠페인은 지역과 함께하는 든든한 동반자 BNK 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Coming up next is Inside Out Busan with Laura McLucky and Minsu Shin. BFM 부산영어방송.
Hello, and happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. You are tuned in to Inside Out Busan. You know, we all desire wealth, money. But nowadays, there's a popular saying amongst the MZers, the younger generation, 부자보다는 뷰자 되고 싶대요.
And the meaning is it's better to be someone who finds joy in beautiful views rather than always prioritizing money.
맞아요, 뷰자. So city dwellers, with their limited space, they are actually going about trying to create these small gardens, small pots here and there, even raising fish in these little tiny ponds because they want nice views instead of just like the rich nightscape night views that everybody else wants.
Exactly. So, do you prefer a river view, sea view, mountain view, or maybe the downtown view at night? Maybe there's another type of view you like best. Let us know. Personally, I love our Busan downtown night view.
네, 저는요 우리 유튜브에 나오는 우리 얼굴 뷰를 좋아합니다.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. La 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 la. La 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 la. This is how we do it. La 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 la. This is how we do it. It's Friday night and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side, so I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver, take the keys to my truck. Hit the shop cause I'm faded. Honey's in the streets, say money, yo, we made it. It feels so good in my hood tonight. The summertime skirts and the guys ain't canine. All the gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. You gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kinda buzzed and it's all because this is how we do it. South Central does it like nobody does. This is how we do it. To all my neighbors, you got much flavor. This is how we do it. Let's flip the crack, bring the old school back. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. All hands are in the air and wave from here to there. If you're an OG Mac or a wannabe player, you see the hood's been good to me ever since I was a lowercase G. But now I'm a big G. The girls see I got the money, $100 bills, y'all. If you were from where I'm from, then you would know that I gotta get mine in a big black truck. You can get yours in a 6-4. Whatever it is, the party's underway. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kinda buzzed, it's all because this is how we do it. South Central does it like nobody does. This is how we do it. To all my neighbors, you got much flavor. This is how we do it. Let's flip the track, bring the old school back. This is how we do it. I'm kinda buzzed, it's all because this is how we do it. South Central does it like nobody does. Nobody does. ain't no money and life show was slow. And all they said was 6'8" he stood. And people thought the music that he made was good. They lived the DJ and Paul was his name. He came up to money, this is what he said. You and OG are gonna make some cash. Sell 1,000,000 records and we're making the dash. Oh, I'm buzzing the club. This is how we do it. South Central dancing like nobody does. This is how we do it. To all my neighbors, you got much flavor. This is how we do it. I'll never come whack on an old school track. This is how we do it. I'm kind of buzzed, so because this is how we do it. South Central dancing like nobody does. Nobody does. Oh, it's party time. Straight up coming from the west side. This is how we do it. Oh, she's got the flavor, yeah. This is how we do it. And money does it like nobody does. Yeah. Come on now, Def Jam.
This is how we do it. Oh my gosh.
Love it. Are you singing that song today?
No, not today.
Oh.
Right? I just want. I usually belt along with Montel Jordan. Our opening track. This is how we do it. Whenever I do listen to the song, especially in the car. Hopefully, a lot of our listeners were turning up the volume, bumping along.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I love 90s R&B hip hop.
I haven't noticed at all from your song choices. Never would have guessed. And by never, I mean, of course.
Of
would have
course,
guessed.
right?
Yes.
Very obvious. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and happy Friday. You are tuned into the Friday edition of Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin.
And I'm your host, Melissa Peterson, filling in this week for Laura. But today is Friday, so that means this special edition of me is ending today.
맞아요. Very, very 아쉬워. But yes, this is the last show Melissa will be doing, I guess for now, not only here on Inside Busan, but you're on other programming here at BFM. This isn't going to be like our final goodbye.
Yes,
but,
not forever.
Goodbye for now. But, Melissa, we're at the beginning of the show. It's really early to say goodbye right now. So we'll hold the rest for later.
Holding
right?
it,
Yeah.
yes.
So we started, the show talking about views because these days, especially amongst the younger generation, it's not all about the fancy cars and with the bank account showing a lot of zeros anymore. 뷰를 엄청 소중하게 생각한대요. So, people preferring views of beach, green fields, trees, forests, lakes, rivers, rich landscapes. Things like this, backdrops like this, actually play a crucial role when it comes to just the quality of our lives.
Yes, they do. The richness of green spaces can actually increase the feel-good chemicals in the brain, and staring at the ocean actually changes our brain wave frequency and puts us into a mild meditative state.
그래서 눈으로 보는 게 그렇게 중요하대요. So a lot of, urban apartment dwellers these days who want to be 뷰자s, right? Not
yes.
부자, not rich, but rich in view. 뷰자. They say they prefer, pleasant views, scenery that, they could just kind of look easily in their living room. So things like, having like a couple pots of plants around, right? These days they refer to people like that put a lot of plants and greenery in their own homes. Planterior, right? It's
Yes.
interior and plants combined. This is very popular when it comes to just interior decorating these days.
Right, planterior. So the natural view requires little attention, and it kind of allows us to escape from our daily concerns. In other words, we can simply let go, enjoy the scenery, and that makes us feel relaxed and comfortable. Don't you think so?
I completely agree. So, listeners, we want to know from you, whenever you go on trips outside the city, abroad, or maybe here in Busan, what kind of view do you prefer? Maybe from your hotel room or maybe from your own home. 네. 여행을 갈 때, 숙소에서나, 특히 숙소를 고를 때 어떤 뷰를 좋아하십니까? Usually your hotels, what kind of views do you have? They have the ocean view.
They have the ocean view. Usually that's more expensive.
Yeah.
And like the city view is cheaper. Because it's risky that it might be a building that you're looking at, like
맞아요.
very close to your
Exactly,
window.
right? Yeah, I know a lot of us try to maybe avoid the city view. I know like here in Busan as well, couple of the accommodations that I was looking at like years back when we went to Jeju, they have mountain views too.
Oh, yes.
From hotels.
Right? If you're in a place with mountains, you have mountain views. Yeah, definitely.
What are
popular.
you a fan of? Like, what would you want to choose if you were booking a hotel or accommodation?
So, I have a feeling my answer is going to be different from everyone else because I grew up in the countryside. Extreme countryside. So we're talking more cows and deer and chickens than people. That's why I love Busan because I prefer the night city view.
Night city view.
Yes, I like that. I spent 20 years looking at fields of cows, and that's enough. Thank you, Busan, for having a very small cow population. I like the night city view.
네, 멜리사 부산에 와서 너무 다행이네요. Right? Yeah, so Melissa enjoys a city view. I personally enjoy, the more nature, mountain or actually the ocean. Doesn't matter
which one? If you had to choose.
If I had to choose.
Because I'm guessing mountain view would probably be a little bit cheaper than the sea view.
Yeah. But when I do pick accommodations, I don't put money as a factor too much. I put other things like comfort and also view is very important, even before the
Really?
money. But I would choose the ocean view.
Ocean view.
그냥 볼 때, especially in the morning when I open up the curtains and it's just, the ocean expanse in front of me.
And the ocean breeze.
Yes, that
right?
too. Hopefully it doesn't smell too much like ocean. But I don't know. 그냥 속 시원해요. 특히
Yeah.
아침에 일어날 때.
It can be very nice. I mean, I'm not against the ocean view or the water view, but it's more expensive and personally, I would rather spend that money looking at the city.
Sure.
I love Busan. Come
Yeah.
on. I've lived here a long time. I love the city view, the excitement.
Right. If you plop yourself down, probably most parts of the city, you get a good city view, right? Okay, so we do want to know from our listeners what type of view do you prefer, whether it be from accommodation or maybe from your home. Let us know. Pound 9050 샵 9050. It will cost you 101, or you could let us know on our Kakao Talk, or you could join us on our YouTube. It's very popping already. Lots of people chiming in, sending in their messages. We will get to them in just a bit. But coming up next, it is News Bites with Annie. BFM News anchor Annie here in the studio. Hello, Annie.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing today?
Very happy that it's Friday.
Yes, it is Friday. That's what's on everybody's minds. Annie, what kind of view do you prefer or do you usually go for? Let's say when you're booking like an accommodation.
I was thinking about this. I don't prioritize my accommodations really. I'm more of a price point kind of gal.
Okay.
I don't spend a lot of time in hotels. I'll wake up and go outside.
Right.
맞아요.
But I mean, if I had to choose, of course, I prefer a proper city view, but if I'm at risk of a wall, I'm gonna go ocean view.
Oh, so that's what you mean by a proper city view, and not
Yeah.
like another building in front of you, right?
Right.
happens.
Because technically that is a city view. It's like a building in the city that you're looking at.
Enjoy the view of the concrete wall,
Yeah.
which is, 12 inches
Yeah.
from the window.
It's happened a couple
That's why
times.
reviews are so important.
Yeah.
When it comes to accommodations. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Friday edition of News Bites. What do you got for us?
Right. So, as we all know, President Yoon visited Vietnam after Paris, France. So, President Yoon Suk-yeol, who is on a state visit, said today that North Korea's nuclear and missile programs are the most urgent security threats in the region, and added that both countries agreed to strengthen cooperation on these matters, as well as expanding economic ties to increase bilateral trade. And at a joint press release after the summit with Vietnamese President Vo Van Dong, President Yoon stated that Vietnam is a key partner in implementing our Indo-Pacific strategy and Korea-ASEAN Solidarity Initiative. President Yoon also agreed to provide Vietnam with $4 billion in soft loans by 2030 as part of official development direct assistance.
Yeah, so it looks like willingness to help each other out. What else was discussed between the two leaders?
Right, so President Yoon said that South Korea and Vietnam will hold annual foreign ministerial talks, as well as expand cooperation based on the increased political trust between these two countries. And besides these matters, they also signed like 17 agreements and documents. I will not list all of them, but it did include implementation plans for the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership that was established last year. And basically, this partnership would allow the use of international driver's licenses in each other's countries. And they also signed an MOU stating rules for the issuance of employment permits to Vietnamese workers here in South Korea.
Yeah, especially just the little things to up the quality of life for Koreans living in Vietnam, as well as the Vietnamese, people living in Korea.
Exactly, yeah.
Because there's a good population of both in both countries. So, yeah, good to see that a lot of cooperation, future cooperation will continue to take place between Korea and Vietnam.
Yes.
What's next?
Right. Well, following the unprecedented physical friction between the Daegu Metropolitan Government and the Daegu Metropolitan Police Agency on the 17th, that was over the Daegu Queer Culture Festival. The two sides clashed head-on yet again today. So after the clash, basically what it was, they clashed over road occupancy issues during the queer festival. Basically, the officials said they were blocking the road. Police officials were saying it's okay. But Daegu Mayor Hong Jun-pyo took a shot at Daegu Police Agency Commissioner Kim Soo-young. And then today, the Daegu Police Agency raided Daegu City Hall under an investigation into election law violations, which involved Mayor Hong, which caused quite a bit of a big scene. A civic group in Daegu had actually filed a complaint against the mayor and a city official in charge of the city's YouTube channel, and they alleged that the channel was being used as a publicity tool, which is actually a violation of the Public Official Election Act. Police had received a search warrant a week ago, so they were just enacting it.
Okay. Wow. So it started on the 17th of this month?
Yes.
Okay, so a lot has developed since that time. You mentioned this search warrant. How did Mayor Hong Jun-pyo and all his officials react to this?
All right. So Mayor Hong had denounced the police as gangsters. That was his words, not mine. And he claimed that they were acting out of revenge over the queer festival clash that happened last week. This was actually like 500 city officials against 1,500 police officials.
Okay, big numbers.
Yes, and he also said the police had, quote, forcefully suppressed the official duties of city officials. However, Chung Jang-soo, who is a senior Daegu city official, said that he doesn't think this case has anything to do with the queer festival clash. So, mixed reviews here.
Okay.
This is going to be, conflict between these couple of parties that will pretty much continue on. And this is definitely going to be something that if they do have an event like this continue maybe, annually, right? Probably a lot of eyes on this, right? So it's very unfortunate that something that, had good intentions kind of ended off, with a lot of people with different opinions. Thank you so much for that. Let's move on to our last bit of news.
Right. As we know, the 25th is the anniversary of the Korean War. So I thought I would bring a good closure here. So a 95-year-old Korean War veteran who actually lives over in Puerto Rico named Angel Guzman said he does not have any regrets anymore and said it brought tears to his eyes thinking about how thankful he is to South Korea. And this was all because his granddaughter was given the opportunity to study here in South Korea. So Mr. Guzman fought in the Korean War when he was just 24 years old. That's back in 1952. And he was actually in charge of scoping out positions and delivering supplies to his unit. He returned to Puerto Rico after serving for 2 years and 5 months and retired as a middle school math teacher.
Yeah, so June here in Korea being the month of patriotism, a lot of anniversaries as well as days dedicated to patriots and, people that risked, put their lives on the line for our country. So it's a very meaningful moment to even share this story about Mr. Guzman. So could you tell us more about him?
Right. Well, actually, recently, Korean college student volunteers from the International Youth Union, IYF, which is an international NGO, visited his home. and thanked him for protecting our country. He said that he was always grateful for the Koreans who had helped him clean his home and, kept him company. And he said that despite being at war, Korean citizens were always very kind to him. He always wanted to return to Korea after the war, but he wasn't able to. So he's just really happy that his granddaughter was able to give him the opportunity. And he spoke of seeing bodies strewn, harsh weather conditions, and also facing death multiple times, once when he got a bit of shrapnel in his head and had to get surgery.
Gosh, this is unimaginable
Right.
for us, right? What, veterans like him had to go through. But hearing these stories, it's because of what, Mr. Guzman went through, what plenty of his, fallen soldiers, brothers had gone through, that we have the country and the lives that we have today.
Right.
And this is something that, in our busy lives these days, we tend to overlook, forget about sometimes. So
Right.
Hopefully all of our listeners, took some time this month. They're still, it's not something that we should only dedicate only in the month of June, but we should keep in mind.
Extra.
Yeah. Extra in the month of June, but something that we should always have in the back of our minds, just be thankful for those that laid their lives, right? So that we could have the country and the lives that we have today.
Beautiful Korea.
Definitely. And so exciting for this man to now have his granddaughter coming to Korea, because he has a very different vision of what
Right.
Korea was in 1952. And his granddaughter will probably send him pictures of all the amazing technology and things
맞아요.
here.
He has,
And-
actually. And he's been looking through them.
Right?
And yeah.
So exciting. It must be so exciting for him to see
Yeah.
that.
So growing up, he said he had told her a lot of stories about Korea, and she grew to love our country. So it's really sweet.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us this really feel-good story, as well as all the news. Real quick, Annie, we have our resident 아재 개그 담당, Mr. 류상효, 우리 원장님.
Saw him in the morning. Hello.
네, 우리 원장님이, because commenting on the question we're asking our listeners, say, what view do you enjoy? He says, any view.
Ooh, Annie View.
There it is.
Not my
Wanda-
joke. Not my joke, ladies and
WandaVision,
gentlemen. This
Annie
is
View.
네,
sorry.
Dr. 류상효 on our YouTube saying this, right?
Let's both apologize.
그리고 우리 류 원장님 says, Annie 영어 너무 잘한다. You did it, Annie. You did it.
한국말도 잘합니다. 칭찬해주세요.
Annie, thank you so much. That'll do it for today's News Bites. Have a good weekend. Okay, we'll see you back here on
All right.
Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Every second, every day.
This is Mina Kabi with Every Second.
Love on you. Never wait or hesitate to tell me what is on your mind. Really do enjoy your company. I think you would agree. Just where you'd rather be is right here with me. Make my day in every way. No, I'll be okay when you are around. I just want to stop worrying about what could come. I really like it here in your arms, thinking this is where I belong. I had no doubt in my mind we would make it far. Now I fear a change, one time to start waiting for an argument. Inevitable, but don't know how bad the smallest things will get to you. Hoping we won't be a thing of the past. But where we are today is where I wanna stay. Leave worries far away when you're here with me. I should just enjoy this time, in case we end up leaving all this behind. I just need to stop worrying about what could come. I really like it here in your arms, thinking this is where I belong. I had no doubt in my mind we would make it far. Now I fear a change, one time to start. I'm always with you. I wanna remember this moment in time. Though I'm always with you. I wanna remember if we leave this behind. I really like it here in your arms, thinking this is where I belong. I had no doubt in my mind we would make it far. Now I fear a change, one time to start. I really like it here in your arms, thinking this is where I belong. I had no doubt in my mind we would make it far.
Every Second by Mino Kabe. Thank you so much for tuning in. First hour of Inside Out Busan here at BFM 90.5, 103.3. If you are joining us from Kijang, Cheongwan, or Noksan, thank you so much for hanging out. I am Minsu Shin.
And I am Melissa Peterson.
Hi. So it was a fine summer day today.
It definitely
That's
was.
how I would describe today. Wasn't too hot, although it was like a summer hot. We still have lots of more hot days to see, but it was nice today.
Honestly, I don't know because I was inside in air conditioning all day.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
you
Mother
were.
Nature. I don't know. But it looked nice when
Yeah.
I looked out the window.
좋았어요. It wasn't hot enough for me to complain.
Okay,
Walking
that's
outside, so I really enjoyed it. But let's get into details of what the weather exactly will look like exactly looks like right now, as well as into the weekend, because I know that's very important, right? So 23 degrees, our city is averaging tomorrow. Expecting morning low of 20 and an afternoon high of 26. Now, starting this Sunday, I do hate to be the bearer of bad news. Nationwide monsoon will begin.
So soon.
네. So soon the monsoon will come. So please be also aware that a significant amount of rain is forecasted to fall from the first monsoon shower and then from on. So do expect good amount of rain, right? Starting this Sunday, and then who knows? I'm sure a lot of our listeners might be looking on your weather app. I looked at my weather app today. All I saw was rain from Sunday on. I couldn't.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I didn't even check.
I haven't
Okay.
seen even a partly cloudy kind of like the icon.
So if you don't have rain boots, think about buying them.
Yeah, it's a good investment. 네, 이번 주말 일요일부터 전국적으로 장마가 시작될 예정입니다. 첫 장맛비부터 많은 양이 내린다고 하니 유의하시기 바랍니다. What's our traffic looking like?
Well, for traffic, we do have some congestion on Yeonsuro from Mangmi Junction going towards Suyong Junction. There is also congestion on Bungyong-lo from Gusa Interchange going towards Gumjeong Police Station. It is also slow going on Gudok-ro from Jagalchi Junction going towards the former Sicheong Junction.
네.
And also it is slow out there on Jungangdaero from Jungbu Police Station going towards Choryang Junction. The good news is there are no accidents to report. So if you are in your car traveling, I know you want to get home to enjoy Friday, but please drive safe.
Most important, right? So, text topic or question for our listeners today. We're talking about views. Everybody wants to be a buja these days. Not only, rich, but also have a nice view, maybe outside your window or even within your own home. So we want to find out from our listeners, what kind of view do you prefer? Maybe from accommodations, because a lot of people are traveling these days, or
Right.
maybe from your home, inside your home. We have a message that came in our Kakao Talk, right?
Yes, we do. So Insunim says, I would like to live in an apartment with an ocean view.
네, so
Yes.
인수님, in the same school of thought as me.
Yes.
Ocean view, I don't know what it is. It's just 그냥 저는
It's relaxing.
It's relaxing. 그리고 좀 뻥 뚫리는 느낌 나요. A lot of people, get that 뻥 뚫리는 느낌, that very refreshing feeling when they
Right.
look at like mountains and greenery. But I get it when I see just an endless sea. But I actually have a fear of like the deep ocean.
Okay.
But that's not something you could see right when you're looking at the waters. It's just
Right?
sea and sky. So
Yeah, it's very nice.
That's what I enjoy. We have lots of other messages too coming in. We will get to them, listeners. But it is time for IOB's 5분 상식. Time for IOB's 5분 상식.
Yes, it is. It's getting you in the know of some of the most trending, useful, and need-to-know words and expressions. 5분만 들이면 유식해지는 시간이죠.
네, 오늘의 5분 상식은요. 한 주 동안 가장 핫한 키워드 검색어였던 청년 도약 계좌. 이거 대해서 알아보도록 하겠습니다.
Hello, this is IOB Bank. How may I assist you?
Well, hello, my good madam. I'm here to open a 청년 도약 계좌, a youth leap account. Is there a limit to the number of accounts available on a first-come, first-served basis?
Well, sir, you know our Youth Leap account is quite popular. We've reached over 600,000 signups in just 6 days since its launch this week.
I had no idea I was talking to AI, but I do want to open a Youth Leap account and save up to 5천만 원, 50 million won in 5 years because I want to buy my dream car. Ooh, I'm just getting excited just thinking about it.
That's great to hear, sir. So, to ensure you meet the requirements, may I ask your age?
I am 33 years this year. 청년 맞습니다.
Great. You met the conditions. What is your annual personal income?
저는요, 매달 50만 원씩이니까 500,000 won every month. That's about 6 million won a year.
Your annual individual income is less than 60 million won. Perfect. There's one more condition I haven't mentioned, which is to deposit 700,000 won monthly.
What? 70만 원요? 50만 원 버는데 70만 원을 어떻게 넣어요?
I apologize, sir. These are the requirements for the Youth Leap account.
아, 제발요. 가입시켜줘요. 나 33살이잖아. 제발, 제발. You know, I've asked 작가님 time again to never give me any lines that required for me to do 애교 and 귀엽게 하는 거.
But you were very cute. That was very cute. And, you know, it was especially acute frustrated when you realized you were talking to a machine at the bank.
Yeah, I went to a very, very, cutting edge technology bank that I went into.
Yes.
작가님 다음부터 이런 거 시키지 마요. 왜냐면 I know there's a bunch of listeners that turned off the radio as soon as I started talking like that. Okay. So 청년 도약 계좌. It's very popular these days. You mentioned over 600,000 people signing up within 6 days. So 청년 도약 계좌. How would you say it in English, and what is it?
So this is called a Youth Leap account. It's a policy-type financial product. It's aimed at supporting young people's asset formation. So this year's Youth Leap account allows young people to save 700,000 won per month for 5 years, potentially accumulating up to 50 million won in savings. And the government provides a subsidy of up to 6% of the monthly deposit. And the account also earns interest from the bank.
Yeah, so basically anybody then who looks young can join. I'm sure you got to be providing some, ID, and they'll be the judge of that. So, what is the eligibility for the Youth Leap account?
Well, unfortunately, it's not for the young at heart, but actually have to be between the age of 19 and 34. If their individual income is 60 million won or less based on the total income criteria, and if their household income is below 180% of the median income. So starting from the 23rd, today, people can apply for the account through 11 mobile apps without regard for their birth year.
네. Then what is the maximum government contribution limit for the Youth Leap account?
The maximum monthly deposit amount for all participants is 700,000 won, but individuals with lower personal income receive more government support. So participants with an annual income of 24 million won or less can receive up to 400,000 won in government contributions per month, with a matching rate of 6%. So, for example, if a participant saves 200,000 won per month, the government will contribute an additional 12,000 won per month.
Good to hear. So that is very much needed news if people are interested in the Youth Leap account, 청년 도약 계좌. We have 토끼님 saying 33살? 귀여울 수 있네요. 토끼님, 이런 말 하면 안 됩니다. 왜냐면 우리 작가님 이런 걸 읽잖아요. You egg her on to write more lines for me that require me to do 애교. 왜냐면 저도 너무 부끄러워요.
But you're so cute.
그런 말 하지 마세요, 멜로사.
I'm
Our
sorry.
writer is listening.
Not cute.
네,
It was
exactly.
not. It was terrible.
There you go.
That was
There you
horrible.
go. That's what I want to
I
hear.
hated it.
Alright, 감사합니다. 네, 오늘의 5분 상식 청년 도약 계좌 Youth Leap Account 만 19세부터 만 34세 청년을 대상으로 매월 70만 원씩 5년간 적금하면 최대 5천만 원 목돈을 마련할 수 있는 정책 금융 상품이라고 합니다. 오늘의 5분 상식이었습니다. 김대리 퇴근하나?
예, 부장님.
집이 교회종이지? 같은 방향인데 같이 가지? 요즘 회사 생활 어떤가?
예, 저 열심히 잘하고 있습니다.
결혼 생활도 재밌지?
예, 뭐 즐겁죠, 예. 저 그 라디오라도 좀.
그래 라디오.
네가 저번 주 심참인 것 같네.
22번 홀리면
진짜 회사 생활 쉽지 않다. 어색한 이 순간 인사이드 아웃 부산과 함께하세요. 오늘은
It is time for TGIF Live Studio. Woohoo! 네, we have Gina with us here in the studio. Gina 씨 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Hi.
Welcome.
네.
So this is a segment where Minsu, Gina, and usually Laura sing the songs they want to sing live to match your particular situations.
맞아요.
In this segment tonight, Minsu will perform live with Gina.
네.
Which is excellent news, especially for me. You don't
맞아요.
want to hear my voice, but you do want to hear Minsu, and especially Gina.
Especially Gina.
Gina is a great singer, and she was chosen as the top winner of the 2021 Oneness Festival.
You know your stuff, Melissa. Gina 씨, how was your week going?
It's been pretty good. I went to 호캉스 this
오,
week. Yeah.
여름 제대로 즐기고 있네요. Nice, good to hear. We already have Mr. E saying welcome, 지나님.
안녕하세요.
사랑대요 23님 saying good evening as well. So, folks, if you want to hear us on, speakers or radio, that's fine too. But if you want visuals to go along with the songs we're singing today, log on to our YouTube right now because we are live with Gina, of course. So, as Melissa said, it's my turn this week.
It is. So I want to know what is the song that you are going to sing and why did you choose this song? Let me guess. 90s. I'm imagining 90s.
90년대 맞아요. 90s 맞는데요. Not English songs though.
Okay, that's fine.
I brought 90년대 K-pop 갖고 왔습니다. So I think starting a couple weeks ago, I tried to get our listeners in the summertime mood, and I brought today another one of my favorite summer songs.
What is that?
It is DJ DOC, DJ 덕의 DOC와 춤을 춰요. 혹시 이 노래 아세요?
안다고 해도 되겠죠?
안다고 해주세요.
I like DJ DOC.
Yeah,
I
DJ
like him.
저도 엄청 좋아하고요. I think the couple weeks song I did was also another DJ DOC song. That's why 그만큼 좋아합니다. 근데 저는 DJ 덕 생각나면 여름밖에 생각 안 나요. Right? So to continue to get our listeners in the summer mood, I brought this song DOC와 춤을. And it's a classic, right? I know a lot of our listeners that maybe grew up in the same era as me will definitely sing along. 혹시 같이 춤도 너무 쉽잖아요, 이 노래. 그래서 춤도 되면 괜찮으면 if you're driving, don't do it. If you're at home, please follow, sing along, dance along, whatever floats your boat, right? So let me get the reverb working. There we go. All right, ready?
We are so ready. Let's hear this.
갑시다.
Uno, dos, 1, 2, 3.
젓가락질 잘해야만 밥을 먹나요? 잘 못해도 서툴러도 밥 잘 먹어요. 그러나 주위 사람 내가 밥 먹을 때 한마디씩 하죠. 너 밥상에 불만 있냐? 옆집 아저씨 밥을 먹었지. 그 아저씨 내 젓가락질 보고 뭐라 그래. 하지만 나 이게 좋아 편해. 밥만 잘 먹지. 나는 나예요. 쌍가 말아요. 요 청바지 입고서 회사에 가도 깔끔하기만 하면 괜찮을 텐데 여름 교복이 반바지라면 깔끔하고 시원해 괜찮을 텐데 사람들 눈을 식하지 말아요. 즐기면서 살아갈 수 있어요. 내 개성에 사는 이 세상이에요. 자신을 만들어봐요. 춤을 추고 싶을 때는 춤을 춰요. 할아버지 할머니도 춤을 춰요. 끝과 나이 무슨 상관이에요. 다 같이 춤을 춰봐요. 이렇게 밥 두와레와레 밥 두와레와레 밥 두와레. 뒤통수가 예뻐야만 빡빡 미나요. 난 뒤통수가 안 예뻐도 빡빡 밀어요. 그러나 주위 사람 내 머리를 보며 한마디씩 하죠. 너 사회 불만 있냐? 옆집 아저씨 반짝 대머리 옆머리로 쏘갈머리 감추려고 애써요. 억지로 빗어 넘긴 머리 약한 모습에요. 감추지 마요. 빡빡 밀어요. 청바지 입고서 회사에 가도 깔끔하기만 하면 괜찮을 텐데 여름 교복이 반바지라면 깔끔하고 시원해 괜찮을 텐데 사람들 눈을 식하지 말아요. 즐기면서 살아갈 수 있어요. 내 개성에 사는 이 세상이에요. 자신을 만들어봐요. 노래하고 싶을 때는 노래해요. 할아버지 할머니도 노래해요. 끝과 나이 무슨 상관이에요. 다 같이 노래해봐요. 이렇게 There we go. That's the applause I was looking for. I'll stop, guys. Stop.
I love it. I love it. We
힘들다.
have on the YouTube channel
네.
Hannah saying you got to invite some listeners to share in the I don't know the other members. Jaeyoung and who's the other
맞아요.
part?
하늘 and Jaeyoung, those are the two other.
They're doing the yee
Yeah,
yeah,
woohoo, those parts. Exactly.
We need some backup singers. Yeah.
맞아요. And if I would probably let you guys know before, you probably, definitely would have joined in. But
I was just showing the yee but I didn't say it because I didn't want to ruin your song with my yee.
Oh, you would.
Yeah.
You would have helped, but yeah, I don't want to burden you guys. You guys got to fill me in. No. But yeah, trying to get our listeners in the summer mood. You're welcome. 네, I don't know who was thankful for that performance, but you're welcome.
I am extremely thankful for that performance. In
아유,
fact.
감사합니다,
Yes.
Melissa. But the main show now we have moving over to Gina. Gina 씨 오늘을
Gina's here.
네 뭐를 갖고 왔습니까?
Living to Love You by Sarah Connor.
Living to Love You.
Have you heard this song before?
I did.
You did?
Oh, really?
I have 이렇게 말을 해줘야 되잖아요. 네, exactly.
It seems like a nudge, wink, wink. Yeah, I have.
근데
I have.
왜 이 노래 갖고 왔습니까?
처음 이 노래 불렀을 때 15년 전이었거든요.
네.
Like I made a demo before for this song. 근데 이게 약간 사랑 노래인데
네.
슬픈 사랑 노래. 근데 그때 연애 해본 적도 없었는데 막상과 헤어진 느낌인 거예요.
아, 근데 그만큼 노래에 이렇게 이렇게 좀 absorbed into the song. You're just immersed. 몰입돼 있는 그런 상태에 기억이 나는 거잖아요. Oh, so this is like your debut song, kind of, right?
Yeah.
오,
Wow,
너무
very
궁금하다.
impressive.
네.
And I have here that it's dedicated to those who wish to express their deep love and have it understood
또
by
사랑 노래
someone
갖고 왔다.
special. Yeah, deep meaning.
네. 우리 진아 씨 너무 로맨틱합니다. 로맨틱.
그래야죠.
네. 그러면 갑시다. Shall we?
Yes.
Here we go.
All we had was just one summer. Two lovers strolling in the park. But like they say, the world keeps turning. As the leaves we're falling, we should fall apart. Now I'm waiting for the winter. To build my castle out of ice and deep inside this massive building, there's a crystal lake of all the tears I cried. Baby, for all my life, don't you know that it's true? I'm living to love you. So baby, don't think twice. If you feel what I feel, trust your heart and do what I do. 'Cause I'm living to love you. I'm living to love you. When you're gone, it's now forever. 'Cause you're remaining in my heart. So tell me why I feel this second now. Every time I think of you when we were apart. Baby, for all my life, don't you know that it's true? I'm living to love you. So baby, don't think twice. If you feel what I feel, trust your heart, do what I do. I'm living to love you. Yeah. I admit that from time to time I'm feeling insecure and I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Don't let it show, no. No, 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 no. Yeah. I don't think I'll never understand that love should never have a happy end. So I really gonna try my best to let you know, to let you know. I'm living to love you. When the final day comes, I know the angels, they will see my smile. And if they wanna know the reason, I will tell them why. Baby, for all my life, I'm living to love you.
감사합니다.
역시 진아님입니다. That's what Mr. E says. That's not what I'm saying. 네, that's what Mr. E is saying on our YouTube. 우리 상대원님, lovely, wonderful 진아.
Really.
That was so epic.
It is, and for those of you who are just listening and you think she wasn't singing, they just did some like lip syncing. No, I'm here. I'm not usually here. I have no reason to lie to anybody, and it's like watching a Taylor Swift concert.
Oh my gosh.
It's amazing. That was
Thank you so much.
yes, amazing.
아, 진짜. And that 그거 어떻게 해요, 그거?
And so clear. Such a clear voice. It's like I don't know, like if you could have the sound of water.
Yeah.
And like it's
오,
so
맞아요.
crystal clear.
That's
Yes.
exactly what I was thinking today. 너무 그냥 깔끔하고 너무 시원했어요. 오늘 노래도. And that 내가 하니까 막 I have something stuck in my throat, right? But when you do it, it sounds very professional. 역시, and this is a treat, I think, every Friday for our listeners. Of course, with the opening show, me or Laura, we take it, every other week. But of course, Gina being the main show, and for good reason, all right? So to everybody, listeners, you're welcome.
Yes, definitely.
선물이잖아요. 맨날 진아 씨가 들어올 때 with your lovely voice. Thank you so much, Gina. We have other messages coming in. Can you open up the KakaoTalk on that?
Oh,
I don't
yes.
know.
So
I
we
have 5 mouses in front of me. I don't know which one does which
Yeah.
computer.
You're so busy. So we have E. Kelly-님 saying
We do have to wrap up though. I wasn't even looking at the time. That'll do it, Gina.
지그재그로 움직인대.
누가?
척추라인에 맞춰서 움직인대.
누가?
누구긴 누가 엔모션 프로지. 척추를 지그재그로 틀어 꾹꾹 눌러주는 움직임. 누가의 시그니처 모션. 누가 베스트 엔모션 프로. 가까운 누가페에서 만나요. 의료기기 광고입니다.
Transforming our world. Navigating toward a better future. The great transformation begins right here in Busan through the 2030 Busan World Expo. Busan will set a new course toward a better tomorrow for the Earth and for humanity. So we need your support to start a new movement.
I support.
지지합니다.
I support. I support.
지지합니다.
I support.
Busan, the city where you can experience nature, technology, and people. The one and only 2030 Busan World Expo awaits you.
See you right here in Busan.
See you right here in Busan. This campaign is brought to you by BFM 부산영어방송.
SNS 매너 권법을 익혀라. 조상권. 타인의 얼굴을 보호하는 스티커 매너 저작권. 합법적인 음원 체크. 이것이 SNS 고수의 매너 권법. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 품격 있는 토크. 시끄러워 죄송합니다. 로라 민수의 인사이드 아웃 부산.
7 o'clock here in the studio. Time for hour number 2 of Inside Out Busan. I'm your host, Min-Soo Shin.
And I am Melissa Peterson. And it is time for On the Mic.
That's right.
This is where reporters head out and interview you, our citizens.
Yeah, but real quick, before we do On the Mic, I do want to let our listeners know, because we were just so infatuated with Gina's performance,
Yes.
right? That I did forget to look at the time.
Whoops.
With the closing of our show. So yes, I guess, due to the technical difficulties on my end, right, we got cut out there at the end. But lots of messages showing support, right, for Gina and the performances, as well as a couple messages for me as well. A big thank you to everybody that tuned in. Now let's get to On the Mic, and let's see who we have for today.
네, 오늘은 전망 좋은 곳에서 한 분을 만나봤는데요. 자기소개 간단히 부탁드리겠습니다.
안녕하세요. 저는 서울에 거주하고 있는데 부산 본가에 잠시 이제 내려와서 쉬고 있는 27살 한예담입니다.
네, 반갑습니다. 와, 지금 서울에서 일하시다가 네, 연휴 동안 내려오신 건가요?
아니요, 저 지금 잠깐 퇴사하고 이직하는 사이에 텀이 이제 생겨서 잠깐 쉬려고 본가 내려와 있는 상태입니다.
이제 또 새로운 행보를 위해 나가기 직전에 네, 힐링 타임을 보내고 계시네요. 이전에는 혹시 어떤 일 하셨는지 여쭤봐도 될까요?
저는 광고 회사에서 카피를 쓰는 카피라이터로 일을 하고 있었어요.
네, 항상 다양한 아이디어와 정말 트렌디하게 발빠르게 움직여야 되는 직업 쉽지 않으셨겠어요.
네, 맞아요.
지난 카피라이터로서 보람과 혹은 아쉬움 두 가지 하나씩 찝어볼 수 있을까요?
보람과 아쉬움이요? 보람은
기쁨?
기쁨이요? 기쁨은 그래도 좀 매일 그러니까 항상 매번 전 좀 새로운 프로젝트 위주로 하다 보니까 좀 한 가지 일에 좀 약간 질리는 경향이 있을 수 있는데 그런 게 아니라 매일매일 약간 리프레시 되는 점이 즐거웠던 것 같고 아쉬웠던 점은 제가 그래도 이제 첫 회사였다 보니까 약간 긴장도 많이 하고 눈치 보는 게 많아서 좀 그걸 오롯이 즐기지 못했던 것 같다? 약간 그런 정도인 것 같아요.
누구에게나 처음은 너무 어렵죠. 여전히 그럼 새롭게 이직 준비하시는 곳도 카피라이터 관련한 곳일까요?
네네, 맞습니다.
그렇구나. 내가 진행했던 프로젝트 중에 기억에 남는 카피라던가 있을까요?
카피는 안 됩니다.
아니면 그 프로젝트 자체에 인상 깊었던 에피소드 있는지?
에피소드는 약간 제가 인턴으로 일할 때 같이 있었던 이제 회사분들이랑 다른 회사에 와서 이제 직원으로 일하게 되면서 또 같이 협업을 하게 된 거예요. 이제 우연히. 그래서 어쩌다 보니까 저희의 클라이언트가 그분들이 되셔서 좀 인턴 때 인연이 이어지게 돼서 신기했던 그런 경험이 있습니다.
맞아요. 한 분야에 있다 보면 또 새로 만났던 분을 다시 만나기도 하고 그럼 정말 반가운 것 같아요. 네, 그렇구나. 부산에 오랜만에 오니 어떠세요? 지금 오늘 이렇게 미포 전망대 좋은 곳에 또 있는데.
너무 좋아요. 항상 부산 올 때마다 되게 마음도 평안해지고 해서 좀 마음의 고향 같은 이제 최후의 도피처 같은 이런 느낌이 있어가지고 너무 좋습니다.
늘 힘들 때 이렇게 나를 품어줄 자연과 익숙한 이 도시와 또 지금 옆에 어머니 분 맞으세요?
네, 맞아요.
엄마와 너무 좋네요. 엄마와 평소에 사이 좋으신가요?
사이요? 최선을 다하고 있어요.
어머니 막 웃고 계세요.
최선을 다하고 있습니다.
부산에 와서 가장 먼저 가고 싶었던 곳이 어딘지.
가장 먼저 가고 싶었던 곳이요? 사실 뭔가 딱 특정한 장소가 있다기보다는 그냥 집이 제일 그렸던 것 같고 아니면은 뭐 여기 달맞이 길이나 송정 바닷가 이쪽 산책도 자주 가는 편이라서 그쪽이 좀 가고 싶었던 것 같습니다.
나를 요새 가장 즐겁게 하는 일이 있는지.
즐겁게 하는 일이요?
아니면 평소에 내가 여가를 보내는 방법?
강아지 사진 보기?
강아지 사진 보기. 나는 책을 좋아한다. 영화를 좋아한다.
영화를 좋아합니다.
영화 좋아한다. 그럼 최근에 본 영화 중에 혹시 추천해 주실 만한?
최근에 본 거 저 엘리멘탈 봤는데 너무 재밌게 봐서 원소들끼리 이제 전혀 다른 성질을 가지고 있는 원소들끼리 만나서 좀 다르지만 이렇게 잘 화합할 수 있고 서로 다른 걸 존중하고 인정하면서 잘 지낼 수 있다 이런 내용의 이야기인 것 같은데 되게 따뜻하고 되게 공감도 되고 해서 재밌게 잘 봤던 것 같아요.
또 이런 추천작 저도 한번 보도록 하겠습니다. 남은 한 해 이제 또 새로 이직 준비하고 계신데 혹시 내가 바라는 소망이나 뭔가 이루고 싶은 부분들이 있을까요?
일단 만약에 이제 새로운 회사에 가게 돼서 또 새로운 분들도 만나고 또 새로운 일도 하게 될 텐데 사실 이건 제가 이룰 수 있는 건 아니지만 좋은 분들이랑 좀 재밌는 일을 많이 할 수 있으면 좋겠고 좀 거기서 또 이제 첫 번째 회사에서보다는 좀 더 성취감도 많이 느낄 수 있으면 좋겠습니다.
또 새로운 길 가시는 거 정말 응원 드리고요. 저희 부산 영어방송도 가끔씩 들어봐 주세요.
네, 알겠습니다.
네, 오늘 인터뷰 감사합니다. 행복한 저녁 시간 보내세요.
감사합니다.
And that was today's On the Mic. Our reporter Jisoo speaking with a Miss Han Ye-tam, who used to work as a copywriter for a company up in Seoul, but she recently quit, right? And has come down to Busan to take a break because this is where her parents are at, right?
Yes.
What does a copywriter do? I'm kind of curious. Do you know?
She said she had a lot of different projects. I'm guessing she was probably doing a lot of editing and, not just printing, but also all the technical aspects, like the formatting and all this kind of thing.
Yeah, so when people say copywriter, I was like, do you have like a specific thing that you do? Because, advertisements, like commercials or even posters and billboards people put up, a lot of work and thought goes into it. But copywriters, the copywriters I knew, they do pretty much like a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Until the final product is like out there.
Right.
For
a little
consumers.
Graphic design. And then you've also got to check, right? Make sure nothing is actually under some kind of copyright or whatever. And it's a very interesting job.
It's an interesting job, but I'm sure something that can possibly drain you because you're doing just so much of it, right? Now, I'm not saying 우리 예담님 was drained, but she mentioned, up in Seoul, away from her family, and it being her first job, she really wasn't able to enjoy that good balance between work and life / relationships and friendships.
That is such a hard balance to achieve, right? Especially with your first job. You're probably one of the youngest people in the office. Maybe also you have the least experience. And so you're probably working longer hours and trying to kind of catch up to all the insider jargon and lingo and things that you have to learn. So it's pressure.
Yeah, but she's now down in Busan, and she mentioned our city. It's like this cozy home for her, a very peaceful sanctuary because, her being with her parents gives her a lot of warmth, and maybe she was missing that when she was up in Seoul.
Yes.
And she mentioned she likes taking walks along Songjong and Dalmaji길. Perfect time to do so, I think, it being the summer season. A lot of people outside walking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she shared she enjoys looking at pictures of cute dogs. I love this.
Yeah. Eye bleach, as some people refer to it as.
Oh, I haven't heard that before. Eye bleach.
Eye bleach, because in a good way, because they call it eye bleach after you read and look at so much like troubling news and whatnot on the internet. A lot of people do like to, afterwards to kind of rinse out whatever, image that they don't want lasting in their minds for the rest of the day. They end up looking at, cute pictures of puppies and kittens. And so that's why it cleans your eyes, images out in your brain. So that's why it's eye bleach.
I love it. So I think, Yedam-nim's hobby is amazing. I fully endorse looking at this because it's very great for relieving your stress and being happy and dogs are so cute.
맞아요. So 예다님, as you continue to, just enjoy your time here in Busan, I'm pretty sure, your next job or your next thing to do is in the back of your mind. But enjoy this time. Enjoy this time resting. Enjoy the time with your family. Yeah. And I guess welcome back to our city of Busan.
Welcome back. It's great to have you back with us in beautiful Busan.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our reporter Jisoo, and thank you to Miss Han Ye-dam. That was today's On the Mic. She mentioned the film Elemental, right, which is pretty popular these days. So the next song I have ready is actually a soundtrack from the film. It's by artist Love. This is titled Steal the Show.
Started out on a one-way train. Always knew where I was gonna go next. Didn't know until I saw your face. I was missing out on every moment. You'll be one and baby, I'll be two. Would you mind it if I said I'm into you? So if it's real, then darling, let me know. I wouldn't mind if you steal the show. together. You're the sky, I'll be the weather. A pretty thing, the sun and rain. Oh no, oh yeah. Summer night, perfect occasion. Where am I? You know I'll be waiting for you. For you. So if it's real, then darling, let me know. I wouldn't mind if you steal the show. So if it's real, then darling, let me know. I wouldn't mind if you steal the show. Shine, you shine like forever. I forever. You shine and steal the show. So if it's real, then darling, let me know. I wouldn't mind if you steal the show. So if it's real, then darling, let me know. I wouldn't mind if you steal the show.
And that was Love with Steal the Show from the Elemental soundtrack dedicated to our On the Mic guest. All right, the time is now 7:13 here in the studio. Hour number 2 of Inside of Busan. You are Melissa?
Yes, I am. Last time I checked, and I think you are the legendary Min Soo Shin.
I don't know if I will put legendary in front of that, but if you
The
want,
man,
I'm
the
not gonna
myth,
stop you.
the legend, Min Soo Shin.
부끄러워요. 하지
Da-da.
마세요. Stop. No, just kidding. No, keep going. No. Thank you so much for joining us to all of our listeners, on the radio, as well as everybody joining us on our YouTube. It's a party once again. It's I feel like every Friday, our YouTube chat is popping.
Okay, every
Yeah.
Friday it's popping. I wouldn't
Yeah.
know because I'm not usually here on
Yeah.
Fridays. I'm kind of a Tuesday person.
Tuesday,
Right.
when you're here at BFM,
Yes.
right? But every Friday, I take pride in just everything that goes down in our YouTube chat. The reason being, they're not talking to us. They're actually more talking to each other on
Right.
the YouTube. And I love
Yes.
this sense of community that we have here on Inside Out Busan.
It is so nice, very supportive.
Yeah, so I do have to actually remind people on our YouTube that we're here too. So if you want to, talk to us, that's fine. But whatever is happening in our YouTube chat, that's fine too. We have Super Party Pooper names saying "Sup, y'all? Sup, poops? Long time."
It never gets old, does it? To say sup poops.
Yeah, always fun, always an excuse. So let's see what the weather and traffic is shaping up to be.
Yes. So, will you share the weather with us?
I will. That's right. I do the weather. 23 degrees here in Busan currently. Tomorrow expecting morning low of 20 and an afternoon high of 26. So as we mentioned, starting Sunday, monsoon. 장마가 시작됩니다. And a good amount of rain is expected, a significant amount of rain, as they say. We don't have the exact millimeter numbers in front, but do be careful. And it's going to, so monsoon season, you could pretty much expect at least, a couple days of rain before we see any break in it, right? 네, 이번 주말 일요일부터 전국적으로 장마가 시작될 예정입니다. 첫 장맛비부터 많은 양이 내린다고 하니 유의하시기 바랍니다. What is our traffic looking like?
Well, we do have congestion on Nakdong-Bukro from Gupo Bridge going towards Gupo Bridge Junction. There's also congestion on Suyang-Gangbyeon-dero from Sentam Middle School going towards Udongcheon three-way intersection.
네.
Additionally, it is slow going on Dongsa-Goga-doro from Bomnaekgol interchange going towards Hwangyang interchange. And also, it is slow on 중앙대로 from Gyeongdae Junction going towards Naesung Junction. So if you are in your car driving this evening, wherever you're going, please drive safe.
네, 꼭 부탁드립니다. 안전 운전하세요. We have Clarineam saying, "Yay, we belong to Inside of Busan family." Clarineam, yes, it is a family here, and you are very much a part of it. We also have a Fatmanim on our YouTube saying, "So excited." Well, thank you so much for joining us. We want to take part in the excitement as well. I guess, we can't feel it as much here in the studio than maybe compared to what our listeners feel.
Maybe.
And what our YouTubers feel in terms of excitement.
Or maybe, if you're like me, you're more excited because I know you had to sing tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Not me. So this excitement, it's never going away
네.
because I'm just so happy DJ DOC was sung by Minsu and not me.
Yeah, so folks, not every Friday, every other Friday when it's my turn, for the whole summer season, do expect songs that will definitely put you in the summer mood. Make you want to go out to the beach, get a cold glass of whatever you enjoy around this time. So yeah, had lots of fun too. So Melissa, every Friday during the second half of our show, we have a very special segment. This is actually the longest running corner in the history of BEFM. I might have to fact check that.
Okay, but I believe you. You said it very convincingly, so I believe
At
it's
least
a fact.
here on Inside of Busan, it is the longest running corner. We have this special little corner every season, as far back as I can remember. And I've been here for quite some time.
Yes,
right?
you have.
It is time for Open Studio. Not to confuse our listeners with the TGIF Live studio that we're playing the music for. A bit of mix-up there, I do apologize. But it's time for Open Studio. We have a very special guest in the studio joining us because we like to take some time with Open Studio to kind of share with the rest of our listeners like the stories and the lives of people here in Busan. And we have a very, very special guest joining us today. A guest who says has fallen in love with our country of Korea as well as our city of Busan. Is very passionate about music. So my kind of person. Let's welcome her to the show. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to our show.
Hi.
Do you want to directly say hi and introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Ayşe, and I'm half Turkish, half Bosnian. And currently, I'm doing my master's in linguistics at Busan National University. And I write songs and play guitar. And I perform as a singer-songwriter in underground scenes in Busan.
Wow. Aisha, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
No,
Thank
it's
you
our
for having me.
pleasure. So you are currently studying as
Yes.
well as a dedicated singer and songwriter. And you mentioned you're very involved with the just underground performances here in Busan. So not too on the big stages. You're kind of like an up and coming artist, would you say? You consider yourself?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that I'm an official artist.
Oh no! Everybody's. If you say you're an artist, you're an artist, right? Because you gotta back up what you're living and what you're doing. I feel like. Yeah. Well, Aisha, tell us a little bit about where you're from. Actually, let's get to know you a little.
I'm from Turkey. I came from Turkey, but my mom is Bosnian. So I grew up in a multicultural family. And I came from Turkey, but I spent my summers in Bosnia. So it's kind of, I had a little bit Europe, a little bit Asia, everything inside me. And of course, lots of music.
How did you come to, decide on, continuing your education here in Korea? And specifically, how did you come to decide to, live in Busan?
It's a long story, but...
we have time. We have time.
Oh, you do? Okay. When I was in high school, I happened to watch a Korean drama.
Oh.
Which one?
It's just A Playful Kiss, 장난스러운 키스.
장난스러운 키스. Okay, I'm not so well versed with my Korean dramas.
Yeah,
But the second one was 꽃보다 남자, which is that was the official
맞아요.
enter to Korea.
Yeah.
Boys Over Flowers.
Actually, that's the same story that we get from actually a lot of other guests here at Open Studio.
Yeah.
When they say like, oh, I got to know about Korean culture and maybe even decided on Korea, it was because of either K-pop or K-dramas. And when we ask about K-dramas, 90% of the answers that we get
Boys
is
Over Flowers.
네, 꽃보다 남자.
꽃보다 남자.
Hey, it was good.
Did you get to see the series?
Yes. So actually, first, I had to watch Binjeep. This was for an Asian communication class. We had to watch Binjeep. And the Korean I knew at the time was like, why Binjeep? But yeah, 꽃보다 남자 then later at the suggestion of the Korean exchange students. And yeah, it's a great show. It's a great drama.
This is before you came then?
Yeah, that was before I came.
Oh, I see. So 꽃보다 남자 was pretty like big in the US as well.
Not really big in the US, but if you were interested in Korea, then that was the show.
Same.
Oh, so same
that
for
was
you.
the show. Yeah. Everyone was just like Boys Over Flowers. Yeah.
꽃보다 남자 너무 감사하네요. Very thankful for the drama, right? Because Aisha, you wouldn't maybe even, I guess, destiny, if it was meant to be,
Yes.
you would have come here
I
somehow.
believe that.
Yeah. So tell us about, what you've been doing here in Busan.
I've been doing my master's degree in linguistics, which was hard, and I've been also doing music and perform, sing. Right, one is for my life, and the other one is for my soul. Like the music is for my soul and for myself. That's the thing that I'm doing for myself.
So you mean like for your life and for your soul, life as in you're doing it to kind of like share your music
to
with.
secure myself. Like
Okay.
linguistics is kind of to find a job, and the music is because I'm desperate to do it. I have to do it.
Well, there you go. That's dedication and passion behind it, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So then what motivated you to want to be a singer-songwriter? Because as especially a master's student, you're very busy.
I am. I'm currently writing my thesis, actually.
Wow. Okay. So that's a lot to juggle. So what was the motivation to, and also how do you find the time to do everything at once?
Time is, I don't really have time, but I actually, sometimes I don't sleep.
Wow.
But I will play guitar. Because, I have to.
So you would rather play guitar than like get maybe like an
Yes.
hour more of sleep.
Exactly. Because, sleeping is just sleeping, but guitar is just, music is like a 영양제 for my soul.
Oh, vitamin, nutrients.
Yeah, vitamins.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
Priorities.
So Aisha-님, we have a couple of people joining in. 우리 가보자고님 on our YouTube saying hi, Aisha.
Hi.
네. 가보자고님 also saying please sing a song for our IOB listeners. Right?
Wow.
So usually when we have guests and they say they do a little bit of music, right? We always put them in.
Let me drink some water.
yes.
I'm
Coat your
fine.
throat, whatever you got to do. But yeah, we just want like a little snippet to see what Aisha, the artist, is all about. So maybe could you, I guess do a little something for our listeners? Would that be okay?
Since you said, of course, since you said there's gonna be rain a lot,
네.
I'll sit 빗속에서 by 이문세 a little bit.
빗속에서 이문세 선생님의 노래요. 오,
네.
okay. So take it away.
비 내리는 거리에서 그대 모습 생각해 이룰 수 없었던 그대와 나의 사랑을 가슴 깊이 생각하네.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That is, and that's so hard to do a cappella. And such a clear voice.
so scary.
And oh, that was fantastic.
Very sultry, I think your voice is.
Really? Oh,
right.
thank
근데
you.
딱 그 이문세의 딱 그 노래 너무 좋았어요. It's like very fitting. That voice it worked for that song
It's my,
too.
my mom's favorite.
Oh,
So your mom's also a fan of Korean
She
music.
had to be because I was forcing her to listen everything I played.
Aha. That is how it's contagious.
Yeah, she
네.
loves Im Jae-bom too.
Oh, 임재범.
Yeah, because I'm a huge fan of
노래도.
Im Jae-bom.
Okay, so let's get into your love for not only just Korean songs, but that's the more of like the older generation of Korean
Yes.
songs, but still good, right? But real quick, we have, of course, a follow-up message from 가보자고님. Wow, I didn't expect a Korean song so beautiful with a bunch of
thank
hearts
you.
being flown at you.
하트.
네, and also we have Fatma님 saying her dedication
My
is very.
sister.
Oh, it's your sister.
Oh my God.
Oh,
It's
hi,
my
Fatma.
sister.
Hi. Oh, where's my
Hi.
camera? Hi.
Hi.
Where's your sister listening from?
Turkey.
She's tuning in from Turkey.
All the way
Yes,
from
I sent her
Turkey.
the link.
Oh,
Hi, Fatma.
nice sister.
What time? What
Yeah.
time would it be in Turkey right now?
It's oh my God, English times.
Maybe-
Fatma,
maybe
몇 시예요? What time is it there over where you are? Please let your sister know.
It's 1:27.
1:27 in the afternoon?
Yes, afternoon.
Oh, okay. So, Fatma, thank you so much for joining us. I love this part about our open studio too, because we have folks from all around the world, who are staying in Busan. But I love it because we had another time when we had a guest from South Africa joining us,
Oh, really?
and he had his whole family on our YouTube.
Same, I guess. Just my mom wouldn't know how to comment.
네.
I think she's like right now. She should be watching.
네.
Oh, good.
So you want to hear actually your sister Fatma's thought about your singing, because when it comes to siblings, they are some of the most like.
They could be the
biggest
best
critics.
or the worst.
The biggest
for
critics
our
Yes,
fans.
they are.
of their
They are.
siblings. So Fatma, how was your sister's performance? Let us know. If you had to put on a scale
nice.
of 1 to 10, and of
Be
course be
nice.
nice, right?
we do have your mother also. She does know how to
my God.
comment.
Aishi님, your mom's joining us. 우리
That's so sweet.
엄마.
Is it Emira?
Emira, yes.
Emira님, 안녕하세요, 어머님. Welcome to our show. It's lovely to have your lovely daughter here in the studio. And your mom says, I miss you. Oh, 어떡해.
I'll be there soon.
Oh, soon you'll
Once
be visiting.
I get famous.
Which might be. You never know.
It might be
soon.
very soon.
Right.
So
Hopefully.
let's get
Fingers
let's
crossed.
get into your love of Korean music. How did that come about?
So, as I said, I watched Korean dramas,
Mm-hmm.
and through the OSTs, like the soundtracks, I found Korean musicians and Korean artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a show about like the young generation, like the young musicians would cover old musicians.
Yeah.
노래, like I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name.
Oh,
But it's the show.
Yeah.
And so that's how I found out about old Korean songs. And
Oh, I think you're talking about the eternal voice or something, right?
Immortal
Immortal songs or immortal voice. It's the one where artists these days they do renditions, their own
Yes.
renditions of like older Korean songs, right?
Yeah. That's how I found out.
Huge show here in Korea as well, right?
Yeah,
So you were a
so-
big fan of that too.
I am.
What was it about Korean music that just got you kind of like so interested in it?
It's just I think even the old songs, like the new generation tries to keep it live. But when I look at the old American music, which I'm old school. I may look 25, but I'm really old inside. So I like
Old soul,
Yeah,
you are.
I'm an old soul. 50, 60. But I like old songs.
Yeah.
And I like old, rock and roll and
Yeah.
stuff. But they're not, they're kind of dead now. Younger generations.
You
they're
mean,
not
yeah,
keep-
it's not
keeping
as
it alive.
popular, right?
Not as popular.
Yeah.
So that really made me happy that young Korean musicians are still trying to make that culture go.
Continue on,
Yeah,
right?
continue.
Keep
Yeah.
it alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep it alive.
This is something that I see. It's true. I say it's more. You could see it more here in Korea, like you mentioned, the current, the more younger artists because this is the stuff they grew up on. I'm sure
Yes.
artists from America or other countries, they do pay tribute to the people and the artists that they grew up on
Yes.
that inspired their music. But it's a trend here in Korea. That's why you see a lot of people redoing songs, especially like around like a certain season, like the winter season or the summer season.
Yes.
Popular songs that were popular back then. They bring it up again and they do like a remix or like a rendition, their own rendition of it, and it gets as popular as it was back then. So
Because it's a great song.
it's a great song. Yeah, that's exactly why they
Because
want to
it's
do their version of
immortal.
it. So their version gets popular, but that makes people want to listen to the old versions again,
Yes.
right? And you're a huge contributor of that with your love for older Korean songs. We have more messages coming in. Fatma saying, I'm her biggest fan. So your sister is your biggest fan.
Thank you.
We also have your mom saying she is the best child in the world. Oh
my God, please. Okay, maybe they should stop writing. Please. Okay. It's enough. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.
No,
Bye.
Emiranim, if you want to say more lovely things about your daughter, continue to send them in.
Yes.
We will read all of them.
Oh my God.
Everything.
Family show.
Everything. But it's lovely to have your family on board.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Yes.
some family members, they just intentionally try to mess with people and be trolls and like, I hated it. It was awful. No.
Oh my God, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, my mom and my sister, we're like friends. We're like really close
It
friends.
sounds like it. It sounds like it, right? Aw. So tell us about just your life here in Busan a little bit. What was it about our city that made you go, yeah, this is where I'm just going to settle down?
Oh, Busan. I love Busan, first of all. When I first came to Korea, it was back in 2018, and I was an exchange student in Seoul.
Okay.
And I was exchange student there for about a year, and I came to visit Busan 2 times. And the first time I came here, I felt like I still remember that moment when I stepped outside of the train and I felt the Busan wind in my face. I'm like, this is really familiar, and calming and warm.
Really?
Yeah, like my mom hugged me. I don't know why. I think it's just it has a chill vibe, more chill than Seoul.
Yeah.
Definitely.
In Seoul, we're just like running here and there.
Yeah.
And I just came here and I just had a breathe. I could breathe. I went to Gwangali and it was one of the most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in my
Wow.
life. It was I was lucky. So the sky was really clear. It was summer and, the pink sky and the Gwangan Bridge.
Yeah.
And, everyone was so nice to me the whole time. And I think those memories in 2018, I kept them like a postcard in my heart.
Yeah.
And when I decided to do my master's in Korea, I was just like, I'm going to Busan.
You're coming back,
that.
right?
Yeah, I'm coming back. Bigger.
Wow.
That's why I decided to live here.
Oh, that's so. I've never heard of it that way. Like as soon as you step out the train and just the
I
atmosphere
still
of
remember
Busan.
the smell.
Yeah.
Oh, the
'Cause-
salty seawater.
Yes, and it's warm.
And how that was like, your mom hugging you like a mom's embrace. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, I felt like I've been here before.
Oh, that is so lovely.
We have Super Party Pooper name saying Busan is the best. Kanka. Kanka. This is another word that Super Party Pooper name keeps saying. Kanka, bravo. Oh, is that maybe another word? Oh, another way to say bravo?
Kanka means like Paul in Turkish, like Paul dude.
Paul?
Like a friend.
Oh,
P-A-L-L.
Oh, okay. Oh, like a Oh, okay, like a friend, 친구.
Yeah, like 친구.
Oh, maybe Super Party Pooper name
Like
is
강부.
강부. 역시, already very Korean, more maybe
Yeah.
Korean in that moment than me, right? Aisha, we want to, I guess, hear about, your plans from here on out, because, with your studies, your master's, but you seem very dedicated into continuing your career as a singer-songwriter.
Oh, yes, I am. I want to do music until the rest of my life, But first of all, I have to be financially stable to do that, to have a home studio and stuff. So I'm just thinking about after graduating, I might find a job that suits me, and then slowly I buy instruments, I make a home studio, I do recordings, and just see how it goes.
Okay. And so do you have much more time left? You said you are studying linguistics, master's student right now.
I'll graduate soon.
Okay.
Actually, end of the August.
Okay. And so when you graduate, are you hoping to find work here in Busan?
Yes. I hope to find it in Korea. I'm not sure if I will be able to find it in Busan. But yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be find a job in Korea.
Yes. Well, we also hope so because, I mean, already it sounds like you speak like a Busan local.
Yes.
Already
Oh my
know
God. Yes, I do
the
have a Busan
accent.
사투리.
Yes. Yes.
Well, as we slowly start to wrap up our interview with you for today's Open Studio, Aisha, do you want to give a shout out to your mother, your sister, or anybody, your friends listening? And you could do it, in your mother tongue as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fatma, anne dinlediğiniz için çok teşekkür ederim. Beni dinleyen herkes için çok teşekkür ederim. Thank you, friends, for listening to me. No matter where are you, I'll text you when once I'm out there.
Aw.
I'll call you guys.
You will. And, if you say it on YouTube, you have to do it. You have to keep promises.
I
okay?
will.
You have a lot of witnesses here.
Oh, okay.
맞아요. Well, Aisha, thank you so much for taking the time to come and just hang out with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This
No.
was like a dream come true to me.
Really?
Yeah, I was interviewing myself when I was little in front of a mirror.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like a dream come true.
Full circle that you've come, right? From practicing in front of a mirror to now actually doing it
I
on
can't
the radio.
believe it. Thank you so much.
Well, you were so much fun. Thank you as well to, Aisha's sister Fatma and of course your mom, Amira. Thank you so much for joining us on our YouTube. And that'll do it for today's Open Studio. Aisha, best of luck to you, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank
you
Have
so
a
much.
nice day.
And the next song we're going to play is dedicated to you. This is by
Wow.
임재범
Oh my God.
님.
임재범?
네.
Which one?
너를 위해.
나를 위해. Thank you. Thank you. I love that
Our
song.
pleasure.
어쩜 우린 복잡한 인연에 서로 엉켜있는 사람인가 봐. 나는 매일 내게 갚지도 못할 만큼 많은 빚을 지고 있어. 때론 난 맘처럼 계속 살아가도 괜찮은 걸까. 그렇게도 많은 잘못과 잦은 이별에도 항상 거기 있는 너. 날 세상에서 제대로 살게 해준 유일한 사람이 너란 걸 알아. 난 후회 없이 살아가기 위해 너를 붙잡아야 할 테지만 내 거친 생각과 불안한 눈빛과 그걸 지켜보는 너. 그건 아마도 전쟁 같은 사랑. 난 위험하니까 사랑하니까 너에게서 떠나 사람이 너란 걸 알아 나 후회 없이 살아가기 위해 너를 붙잡아야 할 테지만 내 거친 생각과 불안한 눈빛과 그걸 지켜보는 너 그건 아마도 전쟁 같은 사랑 난 위험하니까 사랑하니까 너에게서 떠나줄 거야 너를 위해 떠날
안녕하세요. 고품격 영어 방송 Inside Out 부산의 품격 있는 Writer Steve입니다. Winners of Inside Out Busan listeners participation segment will get full course meal voucher from Golden Lizzie, a gourmet restaurant in 거제동 and 연산동, where you can taste cuisine from Michelin Guide featured Chef Kim. 미슐랭 셰프의 파인 레스토랑 골든 리지에서 10만 원 외식 상품권. A place to entertain your brain and eyes. Museum of Illusions. 당신의 눈과 뇌를 즐겁게 하는 곳. Museum of Illusion 부산 착시미술관 입장권. 언제나 맛있는 커피를 신선하게 만드는 양산에 위치한 인투 로스터리. Coffee voucher and a pack of fresh coffee whole beans sponsored by Into Roastery in Yangsan. A delicious brunch for two from Gorilla Brewing Busan, Gwangan branch, the leader of Korean handmade beer culture. 수제 맥주 전문점 고릴라 브루잉 부산에서 제공하는 식사권. We prepare admission tickets for the Busan X the Sky Top Floor Observatory, which is located at LCT in Haeundae, the highest place in Busan. 부산 대표 랜드마크 해운대 LCT에 위치한 하늘 위의 바다. 부산 엑스 더 스카이 전망대 입장권을 선물로 드립니다. IOB와 함께하는 품격 있는 선물. It's all yours, listeners.
Listeners, it is Friday, and as we slowly start to wind down our Friday show, we always like to close things off with quote unquote. And because it's Friday, we have our Friday edition writer, Steve, in the house. Hi, Steve.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
고품격 남자's right here.
Do you have to introduce yourself as 고품격 있는 남자?
It's all yours.
Yes.
It's all yours.
I like it. Now people know. Like, oh, where's that voice from? It's not Minsu. It's not Melissa. It's not Laura. Who is that? It's Steve.
Yeah, it's Steve.
Melissa, don't egg him on.
I'm sorry. I'm only here today. Today is my last day. I'm a special edition. So next week, it's all you.
I know. So
it's all you.
See, I have to deal with this after you leave. So, no, Steve, we love you here in the studio.
Yes.
All right. So, quote unquote, Steve leads this segment every Friday. So, Steve, what do you got for us?
Yes. Today I've brought a quote from the movie Rocky Balboa.
Adrian! That Rocky, you mean, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So, before talking about today's quote, let's listen to the audio file I've prepared. 들어봅시다.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Ooh, Sylvester Stallone. Oh, he has, in my opinion, one of the most like 멋있어 voices in Hollywood. Right?
Really?
It's something about that New York accent that he has, but with that, like that's why him and like Robert De Niro, like whenever they talk, like 집중하게 돼요. Tend to focus in, right?
Yeah.
But very inspiring quote that you brought from his character Rocky.
So today's quote is, "It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done." So like this quote metaphorically discusses how to live life using boxing as an analogy. In life, we often face many trials and obstacles. However, what matters is that even amidst these numerous trials and obstacles, we must take small steps forward. So the world, however, often throws at us even greater challenges and obstacles than we anticipated, which can lead us to despair.
Yeah, so I'm sure, I experience this many a times. I'm sure Melissa as well, Steve, you guys go through this. You like work hard at something, but then it's like the smallest thing sometimes. And it could be a big thing.
Yeah.
That if it's like a obstacle, that bump in the road, a lot of us, we hit that bump and then like we just give up many a times.
That's right.
It's easy to get totally derailed too, because I know they said also in that quote, the clip you just played, no pointing fingers. Because if you start doing that, it's so easy to say, oh, it's your fault. And then you have a grudge and then you kind of sink into this pit of you did this to me, it's your fault. And now because I'm stuck on this, I'm digging myself a bigger problem, a bigger hole here. And then it's all downhill.
Yeah, that's right. Like most of the problem is not outside. I think it's inside.
Yeah. Right within us.
자기 자신에게 있는 것 같아요.
그러면 how then should we continue to move forward?
So yeah, like that's a good question. Like, how can we keep moving forward one step at a time? I believe that having faith in oneself is truly important. For example, let's say one day I watch a science fiction movie and decide that I want to become an astronaut. However, look at myself who ranks 499th out of 500 students in my school, I might feel discouraged. But when I share my dream, people around me might ignore it or ridicule it. However, if I don't lose faith in myself and continue taking small steps forward, as mentioned before, even if they are insignificant, I can eventually become an astronaut.
Is this a personal story of yours? Did you want to become an astronaut when you were a kid?
No.
It sounded very natural for some reason.
Friend of mine.
499 out of 500, Steve?
Let's say friend of mine.
조금 더 열심히 했어야지. Right, yeah, so even an astronaut, which is very realistic these days, right? Not just in the US, but here in Korea, our
space program?
Space industry, right? Our space industry is booming right now. That's why these days when kids say, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up, they could actually do it. And it's very possible because like my generation, if I were to say, oh, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up, people were like, sure. Yeah, sure. But people that, have astronaut as like this dream that they want to achieve. But if you look at just your situation, you're ranked 499 out of 500 students, almost dead last, right?
That's right.
So that could, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you're not trying as hard, but your grades aren't showing. If my grades aren't showing, that means I'm not going to get into a good college. If I don't get into a good college, how possible would it be for me to become an astronaut later?
Yeah, that's right.
So all those thoughts like stack on top of each other, and then you're just discouraged to even try for it at all.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like as you just said, the situation, right? So I think like this is the important part. Like in my opinion, sometimes we tend to underestimate ourselves. We possess much greater value than we perceive. So I hope everyone will have big dreams, believe in themselves, and confidently challenge everything.
Yeah. So small steps towards something like this. So maybe for like the supposedly friend that Steve says, right? I swear it sounds like you for some reason. But little steps, it could be like, you know, if you're 499 out of 500 students, meaning that you don't have the best of grades.
Yeah.
Start from there. Don't even look at astronaut.
Yeah.
Like becoming an astronaut as your like end goal. Maybe you should always have it in the back of your mind, but say, you know, let's just first get better grades. And then you could build on top of there.
That's right.
Right? Get better grades and then, oh, I'm improving. Let's try a bit more. Get better grades on top of that.
Yeah.
All right, now I have okay grades. Now I could, you know, have a better chance of getting into college.
That's right.
Right?
Right. And grades, it's not the end all be all.
Oh, yeah.
This reminds me of, it was trendy a couple years ago on social media. In Singapore, there were celebrities sharing their quite low, like equivalent of Sunung scores and showing people, hey, you know what, I was still successful even though it's not reflected in my test score.
Wow.
So, you know, maybe it's possible if you're 499 out of 500, maybe you're not studying, or maybe you are at a school with geniuses and you can actually, you know, do the work and go to university still.
Steve didn't go to a school full of geniuses.
Okay.
So.
Well, I didn't know that was the background.
I swear this is your story, Steve.
Steve's
It was
friend.
secret. 비밀이었는데. Yeah.
You could still be an astronaut, Steve.
Yeah.
We believe in you.
I'll try. 다음 주부터.
다음 주부터.
Okay, next week, yeah.
Next week, Steve 여기 없을 겁니다.
So today's quote that Steve brought by the character Rocky Balboa from the film series
That's
Rocky,
right.
Do you want to read for our listeners one more time that quote?
It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Very inspiring quote.
Yes.
Steve, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a good weekend. We'll see you back here next Friday.
Next Friday with astronaut.
No.
Okay,
No.
we'll be ready.
Small steps.
Small
Steps, Steve.
Okay, small steps.
All right. All right, looking at the time, it is time to slowly wrap up today's show. Melissa, that'll do it for your stint for now, I guess. You know, here on Insider, you never know
will.
what might happen in the future. How was it for you this past week?
It was excellent, and I just have to do a shout out to Minsu for your hard work. So, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you might guess how much work Minsu is putting in. So, I am just hosting this week. Minsu, he has like 4 jobs. He's a host, he's a producer, he's YouTube IT tech, and because of me, he's like an intern trainer all week. So, 4 in 1. That is Minsu this week. So thank you, Minsu, for your hard work. And thank you all for letting me be a special edition.
Wow. This wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for your dedication to the show this past week, Melissa. So we had lots of fun. Our listeners very much enjoyed our time with you, and you made things a lot easier for me as well. Thank you so much, Melissa.
The pleasure was all mine.
We will see more of you sometime in the future. I guarantee that.
Yes, I am not going away, just like Steve's astronaut dream.
Yes.
Yes.
But you're still here at BFM on other shows, right? On Tuesdays?
Yes, you can join me every Tuesday on the Steve Hatherley Reboot. I do the segment Officially Amazing. So if you miss my voice, please join me with Steve every Tuesday.
네, 맞습니다. Melissa, thank you so much, okay? And that'll do it for today's show. Thank you so much to you, our listeners as well, everybody on the radio waves and everybody on the YouTubes. Lastly, we have 가보자고님 saying, beautiful people, be an astronaut instead of me. So that's to you, Steve, right? Inside Out Busan was produced by Kim Yoo-eun, written by Im Soo-jin, and...
Steve's right here.
Yes, you. I was your host, Min Soo-shin.
And so was I, Melissa Peterson. We will see you in the future.
In the future. Our last track by 10cm. This is 애상. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
언제나 너를 이토록 사랑하며 기다린 나를 뭐가 그리 바쁜지 너무 보기 힘들어 넌 도대체 뭐 하고 다니니 그게 아냐 이유는 묻지 마 그냥 믿고 기다려주겠니 내게도 사랑을 위한 시간이 필요해 널 받아들일 수 있게 일부러 피하는 거니 문자해도 아무 소식 없는 너 싫으면 그냥 싫다고 솔직하게 말해봐 말리지마 내일의 사랑은 너만 보면 미칠 것 같은 이 맘을 누가 알겠어 웨딩 드레스 입은 내 곁에 다른 사람이 난 두려워 나보다 더 멋진 그런 남자 네가 만날까봐 아니야 그렇지 않아 정말로 하나뿐이야 속내서 치고 한번 믿어봐